All Out, episode 5. What's Lacking is the title of the episode, and this episode is exactly what we needed from All Out. Now, the reason I say that this episode was exactly what we needed is because it was practice, 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 practice. It started off, we got Sekizan and Haitakcho. They had just set up a camp for them that was about to start in 2 weeks. It was a training camp, and pretty much all they were going to do was train, 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 train. And after having that meeting, we got this awkward moment where right after everyone's dismissed from the meeting, we have Seki-san and Haichakcho. They're sitting and they're talking right before they get ready to leave. And all of a sudden, out of a full pile of just tackle bags, you see Gion emerge and they say, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I was sleeping." And it's kind of funny because like he was sleeping there for the longest, I'm pretty sure, because obviously he wasn't listening, because right when they left he says, "What were they talking about?" And it's like, you mean to tell me these guys had a whole entire meeting without Gion not being there and nobody noticed a thing? Anyway, it skips straight through the 2 weeks and they go right into training. And we get to see how Seki-san is as pretty much a coach to them. And he has them training hard. He has them doing tackles. He has them doing squats, just everything. And we get to see that they're extremely tired. And he is known to be overbearing because pretty much at the end of practice, it's stated that he's the only one who has any kind of energy left when practice is over. So basically, everyone else is completely tired out. And one thing that I took note of in this episode was that they don't have a coach, they don't have a advisor or anything up until one point. Now, next up, we get this awesome dude who comes in. His name is Komori Shingo. He is definitely a mysterious type character. He looks almost like a detective or something. But he comes up, he says, "I've been watching you guys practice for 2 weeks. Gion emailed me and he said he wanted me to train him, but it's looking like all of you are needing training." And immediately the team just, they don't go with it. They don't like the guy. They say, "Who are you to come in here and basically talk to us like that?" But he starts telling them all of their flaws. And he, right when they tell him pretty much get out of here, Seki-san says, "Okay, well, pretty much show us what you got. Show us something." And this is when he tells them, he says that all of these people you got, the team is very diverse. There's small guys, there's tall guys, there's medium-sized guys, there's big guys, but you guys don't know how to balance that out. So he puts them in this small little training regiment where he says, "I want you guys to stay within the limits of this and try to get out to score a try." He puts Sekizan and Iwa up against Gion and another team member. And it's interesting to see that the other team member, he knows how to use his size to his advantage. And he gets the ball to Gion, and we get to see Gion score a try. He's so excited. He passes up Seki-san and Iwa, which was pretty awesome. Then they switch it up. It's Iwa and Seki-san, and they're the ones who are pretty much about to score. He gives them the ball. He says, "All right, I want you guys to give it a shot, do a try." And pretty much what happens is Iwa takes it on himself, I guess because of the comment that Gion made to him. He said, "If you feel like you can't be here for such and such reasons, or you're too nervous to do anything, you might as well leave." He says, "You're basically big for nothing." And at that point, we get to see Iwa get a little bit irritated, and he actually runs full force. He doesn't pass the ball to Sekizan, which I was surprised because I thought he was going to give it up. And he's running right towards Gion, and Gion goes in for the tackle. He hits his leg, completes his first tackle. He takes down Iwa, but the only reason that Iwa scored was because of his size, which was noted right after he scored the try. They said, "Well, you only got it because of your size and your height." He says that if you're going to use that, you're not doing yourself any good. You need to use your head. And pretty much what he's doing this entire episode is coaching these guys. Shingo is telling them, "You guys are good, you have potential, but you're lacking in so many aspects." And we get to see that Seki-san is definitely listening. He's interested. He's loving the information. And it seems like he's also loving having someone to tell him what to do instead of him completely telling the team what to do all the time. So he's enjoying, I guess you can say, that mentorship of having a coach, of having an advisor. And it's just a pretty much character building episode, and I really loved it. Now, one thing that I found was funny was right when Gion scored, we find out that he actually can't catch very well, so he was told to headbutt the ball, and I guess it's to slow it down when it comes towards him so that he can catch it in his hand, which is what he ended up doing, and that's how he ended up scoring, which I thought was pretty funny. But a lot of people get mad at Shingo for telling him to do that, and then he finds out, he tells them, well, it's in the rule book. You guys can't get mad and complain towards me if you don't know the rules. After the first session, he tells them, all right, everyone, go break, go eat, take a nap, whatever you want to do, relax, get some of this off your chest so that you're not so tired anymore. And during that point, we get to see that just as before, the guys really don't like him. They're not digging his character. They're not digging the way he's teaching, but he's actually teaching them things. And I guess it's just because they're not used to it. But they leave, they eat, they take a nap, and the eating part was pretty funny. You get to see Gion and Ibumi argue, and I think that's something that's going to happen a lot. He's trying to take their food, and pretty much they're just going at it. It happens all the time. But yeah, they take their nap, and then he tells them, all right, in 3 hours, be back. So they come back in 3 hours, and everything has changed entirely, which is what captures every one of the teammates off guard. He sets up pretty much an obstacle course for them, which was weird. It was like these strings that were connected to a post, and he said, all right, I need you guys to pass the ball constantly, but stay underneath these strings. And it's teaching them to pass to, I guess, shorter people and to keep the passes low, so maybe other teammates or other teams can't catch it. I'm not really sure, but he's teaching them pass for the first half of the practice, and then we get to see that it's much harder for the taller guys, and Gion's doing it no problem. And it's pretty funny. He says, wow, this is extremely easy. And at that point, I thought he was finally finna excel, but then he runs into a pole, which is another comedic moment for this episode. Now, the last thing he makes them do is turtles, which is pretty much where they're on their hands and their knees and their butts are in the air. And he tells them, all right, go in this circle, and this is what I want you guys to do from now on. Now, for the bigger guys, he even has some of the smaller guys on top of them, which is probably a tactic to help their tackling get better, since the bigger guys are usually the ones who are always on defense, are more so playing the defense role of the game. So everything that he's doing makes a whole lot of sense. And by the end of practice, once again, everyone's worn out. I don't think they liked him still by the end of the episode, but honestly, Shingo, I really dig his character already, and he's definitely different than most of the characters that we get that are coaches for animes like this, because usually the coaches are this nice, calm, cool-headed, soft, sensitive type guy who's very lenient to the team. He gives them instructions, but he's not firm with it. He doesn't put his foot down when it comes to things, and this guy is blunt. He's 100. He's himself. He tells them where they're lacking. He holds nothing back. And honestly, I like his character because it's definitely different. It's something that we don't get with most animes like this. And I know a lot of people might not like his character because he's not the soft, sensitive coach like most. He's not Ukai from Haikyuu, or I don't think there was a coach in Free, or the coach from Kudo no Basket. He's not like them. He's entirely different. And that's what makes his character unique as well to me. But ultimately, he appealed to Seki-san and Hachijo, who at the end of the episode say, wow, I can't believe we thought we were going to make this entire team ourselves. I can't believe we thought we were going to be able to do all of this alone without an advisor, without a coach. Now we got someone who is pretty much helping us out, and we get to see that Shingo, right as he's leaving towards the end of the episode, he walks by, he looks at Haichijo and Kizu Sekizan, I'm sorry, can't get the name out. He looks at them and he says, all right, interesting. But then he keeps moving, and I guess Sekizan got the idea that he probably wasn't going to come back, that it was a one-day thing. So he says, hey, what time do we meet up tomorrow? And it appeared that Shingo wasn't going to say anything, but he continues walking, and the last word of the episode, he looks at him and he says 3. And at that point, we know that he's going to be their coach from here on out. He's going to be the one teaching them. And I'm very excited because, like I said, showing what happened during their game with Kaijo, it shows that they need improvement. They need to be better. And overall, that's what this episode was. It's pretty much building up for what's to come. they lost their first game or scrimmage, whatever, and now they're regretting the defeat. But out of it, they got someone who's willing to help them. And it's just funny that Gion caused all this because he's the one who emailed this guy who was a former coach. And he even stated in the episode that he had just retired, I believe, that year. So he's not new to coaching whatsoever. He's been doing this for a while, so I can't wait to see where he goes. Can't wait to see what his character builds. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm stoked for episode 6. I don't ever watch the previews, not something I do, just because I want the element of surprise when the new episode comes out. So for you guys that are enjoying All Out, this should definitely be an episode to watch for you guys because, like I said, it's a build up. I hope you like the episode and I hope you like this review. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will be reviewing this anime weekly. Don't forget to follow me on everything you see listed below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.